I'm your host, Kim Roberts, and welcome to ENOCTA's Court Calls, the show where tennis players from the Triangle call in with their questionable court calls for our panel to judge. And speaking of our panel, let's meet them. First, we have Joanne Hudley, who is a USTA umpire. And second, we have Steve Rockine, who is a coach at Riverside High School girls and boys tennis teams. Welcome both to our show. Let's get started. Today, we'll ask questions to Camille and Wendy, who both live in Durham. But first, let's get to Steve and see what's going on about the area. Steve, what's the latest?
Well, of course, in terms of high school tennis, that's of course not happening until minimum September 1st. Durham Public Schools have, and Wake and Orange Public Schools have all gone to completely online learning for at least for the first 9 weeks of the school year, and conceivably for longer. So school sports will not start up. In terms of local sports, several of the local CTAs have started back to some forms of tennis, both Western Wake and Raleigh and Eno. We have started a couple of programs to get people back out on the court, and it seems to be going pretty successfully. The Durham Parks and Rec has not decided yet as to whether or not fall will go the way it usually does, which is combo doubles. The other localities, I think, are pretty much gonna try to go with those, but Durham is waiting because Durham is always the most cautious of the localities in terms of making those kinds of decisions. We, I think, might have a decision, honestly, as early as tomorrow. So about whether they're going to do combo doubles or whether they'll do some other form of programming instead.
I talked to Kathy today, and it sounded like it's either going to be weekend tournaments or it's going to go combo. She said she'll let us know either way as soon as she gets the A-OK from the upper-ups. So hopefully we'll find out soon, and we will announce that as soon as we get news from that. Okay, well, let's go to our first caller. This is Camille from Durham. Camille, what's your question?
My question is, my partner and I can't seem to agree about allowing our opponent who's serving to take two when there's an interruption of play after the first serve. So what's the rule on that?
Well, there's a rule and there's a consideration. The rule is vague enough. It says if there's a significant amount of delay, then you get two. But how do you determine significant? How do you determine significant, Steve, in your team?
Well, what I try to do is, and what is normally the case is, how badly does it disrupt the server? How bad does the delay disrupt the server? So, for example, if a ball rolls in from the other court, but say my partner pops it back over there within a second or two of it rolling on, that hasn't really disrupted the server, and I'm not as likely to say, oh, take two. But if it's significant, let's say, for example, the ball rolls on the court, bumps into the net, it rolls around a little bit, and people are having difficulty getting it back to the next court, then I'm going to say, yeah, give them the second serve, give them two serves, give them a first serve. The rule in tennis is always err on the side of your opponent when in doubt. So if there's such a thing as you really think the server's concentration has been disrupted and their ability to get back into a second serve rhythm in a reasonable amount of time, give them the first serve. It's just like if a ball's 99% out but 1% in, it's in.
Still in.
Same principle applies here.
What I've noticed with a lot of club tennis games is, you say take two when there's been hardly any interruption. So they're very generous that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If I'm the one serving, can I request a second serve? If there's an argument going on the court next to me, can I request a second serve from my opponent if I'm serving?
That's a little rude.
Oh.
Yeah, see, the thing about it is that we know that you can't call a let about anything that happens on another court. You can't call let, because, you think a ball's going to go on their court or something like that, or they're yelling or carrying on or whatever. You can't call let for that. So why would you be able to get 2 serves for that?
And you can't call that on something you did.
Yeah,
I've had opponents ask me for that. If they're serving, they have asked me, can I take a second serve? I'm not going to name names.
Probably because we know them all.
Did you give the second serve?
I was a bit taken back by it, and so I said yes. But then in hindsight, I didn't know, what the rule was.
Well, that's the thing to use in the future when somebody does ask you about that. You say, well, look, according to the rules, you can't call a let for something that happens outside the court. And, and if you quote that, and also it might be good to have the reference ready in case somebody wants to see it.
Definitely.
But yeah, you can't. You know that, and your opponent should know it too.
Yeah. Camille, does that answer your question?
That answers my question. Thanks so much.
Now you can be just as confused next time.
Yes, I will be.
What's significant?
I will try to play with a more generous heart from now on.
That's the point. That's it.
There you go, Camille.
There we go. Okay, well, our next caller is Wendy from Durham. Wendy, what you got for us?
I was wondering if my opponent hits a ball that hits a ball that's outside the court, but then bounces in on my side of the court. Do I play the ball, or is the ball considered out?
Well, if the ball that your ball hit is outside the court, that's the ball is out. It's an outside object. So whenever the ball is out, it's out. Even if it bounces back in, it's already touched out.
Okay.
It would be exactly as if it hit a chair or the net post. Yeah.
So if it hits the net post, it's out. If it hits the net post and then comes in onto my court, it's still out. Okay.
It's out.
If you hit a person who is standing there who's in the proper place, it's out.
Unless it's on the serve, and then you get the point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless it's your partner that you hit.
Yeah, then no.
Then you lose. That's a fault.
Yeah, it's a fault, and if it's second serve, you lose the point. Yeah.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Wendy?
It did. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Maybe next time, okay? Well, that is another quick edition of Court Calls. If you have any questions for our panelists, please email us at enocta.nc@gmail.com, and we'll put you on the air. Until next time, guys, please stay safe out there, and we'll hope to see you on the court soon. Take care, everybody.